the hype for the new 2024/2025 Dodge Charger match the headlines? We're going to find out right now, and I want to look over to my fellow journalists, car and driver, in some of these places, these outlets, to see whether does it seem like they're excited by the new Dodge Charger? Because from what I've seen so far, it just looks like they'd more rather care about the gasoline power than the EV, and I think that's a bad sign for Dodge if they're interested in the EVs. So go ahead and smash that like button for me, and let's get right into this. So we will pull this up. And this is Motor Trend. Motor Trend, there's a few of them, Car and Driver. These are some of the old school paper magazines that you used to get. And they were kind of the benchmarks. If these magazines kind of thought, hey, these things are good, they test drove the cars, they're great, then you were like, you felt like, you were comfortable going to your local dealership and maybe purchasing what you were looking at. But anymore, these outlets have become, well, they've just become about clicks. They need your clicks to pay for the ad revenue, to keep the 4 or 5 people that actually are working at these places anymore still around. It's sad to me because some of these are my colleagues that I do know, and bums me out when these things are dying. But hey, you're on YouTube watching this, right? Guess where they need to be? On YouTube. So 2024 Dodge Charger Daytona is built on a platform that supports electric and ICE. Okay, I can buy that. Okay, they're mentioning both engines, even though Dodge yesterday with the press releases were mostly about, I would say it was 3/4 EV. They're not really worried about the gasoline power just yet. That's way on down the road. So let's see what their actual headline was from their website, which is at the bottom. It says how the Hemi-less Dodge Charger's 6-cylinder and electric powertrain stack up. Okay, that's pretty balanced. Now let's go to the next one and look, and what does it say? The same damn thing, because Automobile Magazine, they're all owned together anymore. So it's just these conglomerates, and all they do is copy, paste, copy, paste. So this is the exact same picture, article, Motor Trend article down at the bottom. So, okay, I'll cut some slack on that. Now, next up is Car and Driver, one of the more from the 80s, 90s that, like I said, you put a lot of respect in what they thought. So the ICE versions of Dodge's latest Charger offers a 2- and 4-door flavors and the Hurricane, as it was going to say there. And at the bottom, what does it care about? The major headline. This is the headline you would see on their website. 2025 Dodge Charger 6-pack sports a 555 horsepower twin-turbo inline 6. No real mentions of EV in this at all. And that's kind of getting to my point is, do auto journalists even care about this? We do know cars are kind of dying. There was a major 3/4 of the auto journalists that I grew up with, they cared about cars. Guess what? Cars are dying. I mean, the sales of the new Mustang, they're good. Did it warrant another Mustang? That's for Ford to say. But we do know, like, Dodge brand itself is kind of up in the air. They make 2 cars, or they did make 2 cars. Did those cars, were they enough to keep a brand plate around? Even Chrysler in general, they make a minivan, that's it. And Jeep, and now that's a whole nother mess. But let's get into the next article. The Drive, kind of a newer kid on the block, but they always put out some pretty interesting stuff there. The Dodge Charger has changed. We want to hear your thoughts. Okay. They want you to talk about it, just like I do. So leave me a comment below. At the bottom, it says, what do you think of the new Dodge Charger? Man, really put a lot of thought into that one. Let's see. Next up, the Drive. At least it still has a few rear wheel spinning parts, party tricks up its sleeve. Okay. At the bottom, goodbye rear wheel drive. The 2024 Dodge Charger is all-wheel drive only. Notice they don't really mention anything in EV because they know their viewing audience, the people that are going to read their articles, aren't interested in the EV, which is sad to me because I think this car, I said it in my last video, it's a beautiful car. I think the interior, I think Dodge is doing some of the most exciting stuff with the interiors. Freaking great. It's just the conversion to EV. I think they could have, if they would do a hybrid version of this thing, with that inline 6, and you could make that car easily 600-700 horsepower. Now, that is a muscle car people would get behind, but I don't think calling something an EV, just calling it a muscle car, is it. But, I've looked at a few definitions online, and they can vary what people think. So the Drive, this 6-pack isn't anything like the old one, but it gives American muscle cars fans something, I don't know what it's going to say there on down. And look at that. It shows a picture of the gas-powered. So you look at the hood. Hood's different. It shows you a big gasoline-powered engine because they know people don't care. They don't care about the EV, and these outlets are proving that. So at the bottom, the 2024 Dodge Charger is the i6-powered Mopar we missed out on in the 70s. Oh, Christ, man. Nobody in the 70s, trust me, product of the 70s and 80s, nobody wanted an inline six. If you had an inline six of anything back then, it better have been a pickup truck because it wasn't your big muscle car. Nobody wanted that, man. Back then, they weren't very high horsepower, a little more torque, but it wasn't anything. They were a commuter car by that point. Nobody wanted that. You wanted the big engines, you wanted the big blocks. That's what was American muscle cars. And, of course, gas prices and all that from the 70s kind of killed that. But still, the fact that they know what their audience wants. And Motor Trend will Dodge's first electric muscle car. Notice the key words. They're really pushing that. Electric muscle car. Overcome resistance from the brand's faithful. Now, if there were a lot of brand faithful with this, and if you are, I've seen in the comments of my previous videos, people love Dodge, the Chargers and stuff. There's a lot of cool heritage with that brand, especially with muscle cars, but they're about dead now. Let's be honest, man. If this car right here could tank Dodge in general, it could shut them down if it doesn't take off. And at the bottom, 2024 Dodge Charger Daytona first look, OMG. Who thought of that one? No more Hemi. Really, no more Hemi. Well, thanks for that. And finally, Auto Guides. There's a lot of information to cover here. Okay. The 2024 Dodge Charger Daytona 3-door ushers in the muscle EV era. Oh, my God. I'm so tired of this. 2 days of this, and I'm so burnt out on muscle car EVs. Come on, guys. Muscle cars are big, gas-powered V8 engines. I know if you look at the whole, probably Webster's dictionary, it's just going to say, a 2-door coupe, basically. Well, that's a 4-door, but it's going to say 2-door coupe, high horsepower. And you might go, okay, well, EVs are high horsepower, and I get it. But at the end of the day, to wrap this one up, we need a new term for whatever these things are, and it's not muscle cars. I don't look at a Model S from Tesla and go, that's a muscle car. No, that's a thing that is batshit crazy that will just put your face through another planet to get you somewhere. They're ultra fast, but at the end of the day, muscle cars should sound the part. I don't need some speaker putting in some fake Jetson sound or whatever they're going to pump into this thing to make it sound like something. I just don't need that. Is this a cool car at the end of the day? You're damn right it's a cool car, but we need a new term. It's not a muscle car. So in the comments below, let me know what you think about this. So whether it be 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, or this EV, I can't say muscle car, that I do want to drive. This has been your All-Terrain Nation. I'm your host, David Boyd, and we're out. Peace, everybody. Love y'all. Oh, my God. I'm so tired of this. 2 days of this, and I'm so burnt out on muscle car EVs. Come on, guys.